Have you ever felt that your deepest, most primal desires were actually a burden? Or worse, something wrong or shameful that you had to hide from the world just to be seen as a good man? If you're a single man in your 40s or 50s, you've likely been told by society that a strong sex drive makes you unconscious, unsafe, or even selfish. So, you did what most men do. You suppressed it. You turned down the volume on your own life force. And in doing so, you didn't just hide your desire, you accidentally hid your greatness. But what if I told you that the very thing you are trying to suppress is actually the fuel for your genius? What if your sexuality isn't a problem to be solved, but a gift to be offered? Today, we're going to explore how to reconnect with your masculine core and turn that raw energy into an unstoppable force of creativity, charisma, and attraction. This is the secret of the superior man. If you're ready to reclaim your fire, hit that like button and subscribe to Femina Mind. Let's dive in. Point 1. Sexual energy is the fuel for human genius. Let's start with a truth that most successful men in history knew but rarely talked about. Napoleon Hill, who studied over 25,000 men to write Think and Grow Rich, discovered a fascinating pattern. The most successful men, from Napoleon Bonaparte to Abraham Lincoln, all had highly developed sexual natures. Hill calls this sex transmutation. In simple terms, it's the process of shifting sexual energy from purely physical desire into other creative channels. Sexual desire is the most powerful human emotion. It sharpens the imagination, builds courage, and creates a mighty bellows of willpower that an average man can't even fathom. Think of a man I'll call Mark. Mark is 45, single, and works a corporate job. He's nice, polite, and very controlled. But his co-workers say he's stale. His eyes lack that certain spark. Why? Because Mark thinks his desire is a distraction. He suppresses it. He's like a race car driver who keeps the engine in neutral because he's afraid of the speed. He has the fuel, but he's not using it to go anywhere. A man who has mastered this transmutation doesn't look thirsty or desperate. He looks magnetic. You can feel it in his firm handshake, his deep, resonant voice, and his fluid, effortless movements. He isn't seeking a release. He's seeking a mission. Do you feel that spark in your eyes when you look in the mirror? Or has the light started to fade? Let me know in the comments. I am reclaiming my fire. Point 2. The ghost of sexual shame and the disaster of suppression. Why are so many modern men feeling invisible to women? It's because of an invisible barrier called sexual shame. Many of us grew up with the message that being masculine means being dangerous, and therefore we must be neutral to be safe. But suppression doesn't make you safe. It makes you dull. When you suppress your sexual energy, you actually suppress your presence. You become a buddy or a friend, but never a lover. I once coached a client who was so afraid of offending women that he would avoid eye contact. He thought he was being respectful, but to the women he met, he felt dishonest. It was as if he were wearing a mask. The moment he learned to accept his own desire, not as something to take from women, but as a gift of presence to offer them, his entire dating life changed in 2 weeks. He started flirting again, not because he was predatory, but because he was finally honest. Do you find yourself looking away when a beautiful woman catches your eye? Do you apologize for your gender or your preferences? That is the ghost of shame. It's a self-protective tension that locks your heart and stops your breath. Point 3. The Law of Polarity. Attraction lies in difference. Why do some relationships feel like they're dying, even if both people are nice to each other? It's a lack of polarity. Attraction is like a magnet. You need a positive pole and a negative pole. In a relationship, the masculine is the pole of direction, purpose, and consciousness. The feminine is the pole of radiance, energy, and flow. When a man suppresses his masculine drive, he becomes neutralized. He becomes a householder rather than a warrior. And when there is no polarity, there is no juice. You end up as two buddies rubbing genitals in bed, but the soul is missing. Think of the masculine energy as a ship and the feminine energy as the ocean. The ocean is vast, powerful, and undirected. The ship provides the direction. If the ship has no rudder, It just drifts. If the man refuses to take charge of the direction financially, spiritually, or sexually, the woman has to become the man just to keep things moving. She loses her radiance, and you lose your attraction to her. It's a lose-loss game. Point 4. The golden era. Why 40 to 60 is your peak. There is a myth that youth is the only time for passion. Science and psychology suggest otherwise. Research shows that most men don't achieve their greatest creative or financial success until they are between 40 and 60 years old. Why? Because this is the age where a man finally learns the art of transmutation. When you're 20, your sexual energy is like a wild storm you can't control. But in your 40s and 50s, it becomes a controlled fire. You learn to combine love, passion, and purpose. Consider the late bloomer. Men like Henry Ford or Andrew Carnegie didn't reach their peak until after 40. They learned to stop spilling their energy in every direction and started funneling it into their mission. As a middle-aged single man, you have a massive advantage. You have the maturity to lead, and if you reclaim your sexual energy, you have the fuel to execute. Now, I want to give you a truth bomb that might shock you, but it's the key to everything we've talked about. You think you are being a good guy by hiding your sexual. You think you are making women feel safe by being neutral. The truth is, nothing makes a woman feel more unsafe than a man who hides his truth. When you hide your desire, you are being dishonest. A woman's intuition is like a radar. She feels that you want her, but she sees that you are pretending you don't. This split makes you feel untrustworthy. She thinks, if he's lying about this simple feeling, what else is he lying about? The divine masculine is unperturbable consciousness. It is a man who can say, through his eyes and his presence, I desire you, and I am not ashamed of it. I don't need you to validate me, but I am here to offer you the full force of my love. When you stop hiding, she can finally stop guarding. Your desire isn't the problem. Your dishonesty is. To wrap this up, remember these 4 pillars. Your energy is fuel. Transmute your drive into your mission. Shame is a ghost. It makes you invisible, not safe. Polarity is power. Be the rudder for the ship. 40 is the peak. This is your time to lead with wisdom and fire. Actionable advice for today. Stop saying sorry for being a man. Own your presence. When you feel intense desire or even fear, don't hold your breath. Breathe deeply into your belly and genitals. Let the energy circulate up your spine to your brain. This is how you feed your mind with your body's power. A woman cannot be your number 1 priority. Your mission must be. Ironically, the more you focus on your divine purpose, if this video resonated with you, I want you to do 3 things. Comment below with, I am a man of purpose. Let's build a community of men who aren't afraid to lead. Like and share this with one friend who needs to hear this wake-up call. Subscribe to Femina Mind. We are here to help you master the psychology of attraction and the energy of the superior man. I'm your coach, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay grounded, stay powerful.